Welcome to the Chronicle's multimedia page. I'm Andy Moore. Alongside me is Tom Gieryn, who covered Duke's 76-60 win Saturday. We're here to talk about that win, and also we're going to preview Duke's upcoming matchup tonight with NC State. Tom, what are your initial thoughts about the hard-fought but ultimately prevalent Duke win?
Well, I mean, they're coming off a loss, obviously, and they spent the first 27 minutes pretty much looking like they were going to lose again. They were just really out of sync, playing against a Virginia team that really didn't have its leading scorer and leading rebounder in Mike Scott. But in the end, they really got some contributions from some guys that really stepped up big.
We talked about Duke playing not like themselves. They looked completely out of sync offensively. For the first, I would say, 27 minutes of the game, they were down by 9 before they finally went on a run at the 13-minute mark of the second half where they were never down again. But, as you said, it was just a Duke team that looked just as out of sorts as they did in Tallahassee.
Absolutely. But it was big for them to get some contributions from two guys. Without Irving, not having that third option in there, you've got Singler, you've got Smith. They're your go-to guys. But it was nice today that the run was keyed by Seth Curry and Andre Dawkins. And it's really good to see that those two guys can put the team on their back when the team needs a lift. Curry had a key, got fouled on a three-point play just inside 13 minutes, drained all three free throws, and Dawkins followed that up with, on the next possession, a layup and one, and then forced a turnover that led to a Nolan Smith slam dunk that really got the crowd on its feet and put Duke ahead by 3, and they wouldn't look back from there and go on and win by 16, of course.
While Curry and Dawkins were integral to the win, that last guy you talked about, Nolan Smith, is quietly having, I would say, a top 3 season of any person in the country right now. For the last 5 games, he's averaging 25.4 points per game, and he's playing it at an incredible rate of endurance. He's played essentially 40 minutes for 4 of the last 5 games. In the stat book, it was 39 minutes Saturday, but he was taken out with 45 seconds left in the game. He's really he's such a workhorse for them, and he's really coming through at a very high efficiency too.
And it's really helping him out lately, I think, that they're not having him play the point as much. Seth Curry's really getting some time bringing the ball up. Tyler Thornton's starting to see more significant minutes. It's a question of whether maybe even playing some more off the ball will help Nolan score more. I mean, his assist to turnover ratio, 6 assists and 5 turnovers against Virginia on the season. He's got 97 assists and 57 turnovers, so worse than 2-1. Shefsky's got guys in Curry and Thornton that both have assist to turnover ratios at or better than 2-1, and they both shown a real ability to bring the ball up the floor, and that can really help take some pressure off Nolan and maybe help him keep his endurance longer into the season and keep up this kind of scoring pace.
Nolan Smith is a 2 guard. We've seen it for 4 years. When he tries to do anything but that, he's not the same player. And so it's just great news for Duke fans that there are other people who can step up and feed him the ball, because he should not be the guy bringing it up the court every time.
Absolutely. And thinking of somebody who also isn't looking the same, we got to go into the post and mention the post players. It looked at the beginning of the season like Mason Plumlee might step up and become something big. He had 20-plus points against Marquette in a game where it really looked like he might break out earlier in the year. But since then, it's been pretty downhill for him and some of his postmates.
Tom, as you say in your article, which I encourage everyone to read, Mason Plumlee has definitely not been the same ever since Kyrie Irving went down. He went from averaging around, 10 points a game with the freshman guard to he's at 3 right now. And even though he's grabbing tons of offensive rebounds, and he's grabbed 30 total rebounds in the past 2 games, that's not translating to offensive production at all. It didn't translate towards offensive production against Virginia, even without Mike Scott there to defend him.
Absolutely, and Mason and the other big guys are showing a similar trouble without Kyrie, especially once the ACC has started. Miles Plumlee has all but disappeared from the lineup, played just 10 minutes in the last 2 games combined. That's the Florida State and the Virginia game. Just a significant portion of Irving's assists were going down low to Mason, and without that dynamic force bringing the ball up, the inside players have really struggled to create offense for themselves.
Yeah, Krzyzewski has said that Miles Plumlee disappearing is because Mason is playing better. And yes, Mason has been very good defensively and obviously very good on the glass, but it is pretty incredible, don't you think, that a 3-year player like Miles can just see his playing minutes just completely disappear from where he was at the beginning of the season.
Absolutely, and they really could use, I don't hesitate to say that they need, but they really could use those big guys to step up on the offensive end and really start contributing some points to take some of the pressure off the guys in the backcourt as far as the scoring needs.
All right, well, Duke goes back on the road tonight. And back on the road, I mean 20 miles down the road to the RBC Center when they play NC State. And last time Duke was in Raleigh, it was, I would say, arguably one of the lowest points of their season last year. They lost 88-74, and Tracy Smith just had his coming out party that day. He scored 23 points, and I'm not sure if he missed a shot.
Yeah, he's obviously a force, and it's been big for them so far this season. He's been out for a significant number of games. It's been big for them because they've gotten C.J. Leslie, who's a freshman, a big man. He's pulling down 8 rebounds a game, and a guy, Richard Howell, who's really a role player, but he's a big body inside, is averaging 7.8 points and 6.8 rebounds in limited minutes. And they've really gotten a chance to mesh and develop while Smith's been out. And now that Smith's come back, that could be really a force underneath that could cause some real problems for the Blue Devils.
For sure. As we saw with Jordan Williams and Reggie Johnson, Duke in the post is having trouble with those big guys. But good news for Duke fans is that their NC State's guards are really fairly poor by ACC standards. Harrow has good numbers as a freshman, but he's shooting 19% from the three. They don't really have that many three-point threats at all.
Well, anytime you talk about a freshman running the point, it's just against a veteran team like Duke. You can frazzle a freshman point guard as well as he might have played. He's averaging in double figures, shooting 93% from the line, so don't put him there. But as Andy said, not a threat from outside. On the perimeter, you do have to watch out for Scott Wood, though. He's 6'6". He's shot over 100 threes on the year and making better than a 43% clip. So he really can spread the floor out on him. But if they can cover him up and keep their presence inside, I think they've got a good shot to take down the Wolfpack.
Still, we can talk about statistics till we're blue in the face, but when you're talking about road conference matchups, it's really anybody's ball game. So be on the lookout for that, and be on the lookout for our next podcast breakdown of the NC State game. Mandy Moore, Tom Gieryn, thanks for listening.